Welcome, guys. This is the first ever installment of the Late Night Podcast. I'm your host, Maya Moss. And more than likely, if you've clicked on this video, it's probably going to be your first time on my page. So to get the vibes right, I am going to let you know a few of the products I'm going to be fueled by on this episode are going to be the Blue Kadu chocolate bar. It's a 200 milligram RSO milk chocolate. I took one of these pieces, so that's like 10 milligrams. And let me see if it says the strain. Okay, it does not. Yeah, it doesn't tell me what strain this came from. So I will say I ended up getting Mountain Apple. It's a sativa RSO, and I just put a little bit on like a half of the chocolate so I could stick it under my tongue, and I ate the other half. So we are currently rolling off of that. And then Never Fear, I also took a Fluent THC gel. Honestly, I don't really get like the hype on this, if there is any. I don't know, it just really doesn't do much. It's 100 milligrams of THC, so I feel like maybe if I was like I took it all at once, because I have been smoking for a very long time. But yeah, I just got my medical card. It's been phenomenal. One thing I will say is the RSO is 100, like it's such a great like alternative for pain relief. I had ibuprofen and I just didn't really like how it was affecting me. I did not like the side effects from that. So moving on into like my medical marijuana journey, this has actually been magical. And I will say I've never been this high in my life, probably since high school. So shout out to that. The only thing I'm waiting on is for like basically for me to run into my favorite strains from the dispensaries. But besides that, because I took those supplements, I think for the THC gel, I had 2 of these. And they're 10 milligrams each, so that's 20 milligrams. With the 10 milligrams with RSO, that's 30. And then the little dollop of the RSO gel. And I don't know how much that is. So because I took all of those, I have a little tray of clips, and I'll probably just hit on those throughout the video. As you can see from the topic, the title of the video, we're going to be talking about how your fear of being cringe is holding you back. And honestly, I kind of want to start off with kind of where everything began, right? Childhood. So if you look back and like really think about it, being in school, being in daycare, being around others at parks, parties, just any of those environments, you never had to worry about, will I have someone to talk to here? Oh, making a friend, what will that be like? Obviously, that may be how would I say that? Basically, every kid is not going to have the same experience, but for the most part, you're probably not really worried about, oh, am I going to make friends here? Making friends as a child is so easy. It's so freeing, and it's very seldom, especially like elementary, earlier, that you would feel like you need to be anyone else other than yourself. I think that was impressed upon us very deeply. I think once we start heading into middle school, all of that goes out the window, because you go from one school that you've known for 5 years, all your life, you're the top dog at 5th grade, and you start at the bottom of the totem pole. That can bring some feelings. So you start thinking, maybe I need to change. My old friend groups are hanging out with new friend groups. Maybe I don't know as many people. Starts kind of becoming something. We should be intrigued, and we should be open into inviting the opportunity to greet others. Obviously, everyone is not a safe space. If you're walking up to everyone thinking they're going to become your best friend, that might be a little delusional. Not what I'm recommending. However, being able to stand back and self-reflect on a situation and think, you know what? Maybe I went to this party, maybe I went to this get-together, maybe it was for work, maybe it was with my friends, and I stuck around the people that I knew the whole time, right? And you never know who else you're around. Like when I was in school, I had a good amount of friends. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I was not hurt in the friend department. I was very open. I loved talking to new people. I welcomed anybody who was new to the school. I wanted my first stakes onto them because I was just like, you know what? I know what it feels like to be in a new place, not have any friends. Like, I went to 11 schools. That shit can be hell. So I was like, yeah, let me befriend everyone, because everyone knows what it feels like to be lonely. Not everyone has the privilege of having someone welcome them first day. And with that, I would say losing that over time, again, because of that transition to middle school, then into high school, then into college, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, life is full of cliques and you can't escape it. I mean, you go to Pilates, there's cliques. You go to the gym and there's cliques. You get what I'm saying? My grandmother, as youthful as she may be, she's very wise. She's lived a long life. And I can tell you right now, she's still enduring drama. So it's just like, that will always be around. If people are going to hate on me well into me being someone else's grandmother, I might as well do what I want to do now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have that fear. And the biggest thing for me is, like, especially seeing the people who are around you and seeing how you become a product of your circumstances. And this is not to speak bad on, like, any of the people who you may be around. It's not to speak bad on my grandmother. Like, she does extremely well for herself. But it's just me saying that when you have anything that you don't self-reflect on and you don't put emphasis on, or maybe you hide it, or maybe you don't put focus on it, like, maybe you're the type of person, you don't like to confront nobody. You don't want it. Like, if there's a problem, you turn the other way, turn the other cheek, and you're like, whatever, I don't care. Here's the thing. You have to be the one to be like, you know what? I'm not going to let this bother me if you don't want the confrontation. Or you're gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this. I might not talk to you about it, but I'm gonna definitely talk about it. Or you can mature up all the way and you can go ahead and have that conversation. I think confrontation, first of all, I think confrontation gets used around like gaslighting. I do not think that every single thing is a confrontation. If someone says something about you and you want to check them, that's not a confrontation. That is you conducting research. That's what that is. That's you conducting research. At the end of the day, like, if you're interested in conducting the research, that's on you. And I'm saying all of this to say, if you're not going to be someone who wants to confront other people, you're going to find yourself living in a life where you are not setting expectations, and then people are not respecting those expectations, but you still feel some type of way about it, and that becomes your reality, but you're afraid to check it, and you're afraid to conduct the research, and you're afraid to go out there and let people know how you want to be treated. And you don't need to be afraid of that, okay? If those people don't want to treat you how you want to be treated, they don't deserve to be there. That's just that. I hung out with people who, this one girl decided she did not want to like me. She did not want to like me. She made me the butt of her jokes for at least 2 to 3 years, okay? And I didn't say nothing. I turned my cheek, took it. It bothered me inside, crippled me inside, till finally I was just like, you know what? You're bothered. I'm not bothered. Like, I don't know what the deal is with you. You're not telling me. And like, again, I feel like if you have the problem with someone, you should be wanting to see, you know, if you can come to some type of resolution, solution, anything. So that bothered me because eventually I was like face to face with this girl, and she was trying to tell me that I needed to be the one who put on my big girl panties and came to confront her about why she didn't like me. I'm being with you, that makes no fucking sense, okay? I wasn't getting bullied, but like in general, for example, if you're getting bullied and the bully is not just like jealous of you, they have a deeper rooted meaning as to why they don't like you, and they come for you every day, I'm being real with you. I'm not expecting you to come to the bully and be like, why are you bullying me? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm be real, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I just feel like if you don't like somebody and you're going out of your way not to like them, you should let them know. If you're the one who is mad about a situation, you need to bring it up. Because think about it like this, in terms of the law, okay? The police is not gonna wait for you to talk to them and be like, oh yeah, I missed the turn. The police is gonna be like, yeah, but you missed the turn. What the fuck is that? So to get back into what I was kind of like saying, making friends as a child is almost more so like you being yourself and making friends is way easier, and it has a way better outcome than how it feels to be yourself and make friends in adulthood. Now, I'm not saying don't be yourself when you're making friends in adulthood, because that's definitely the most crucial part to finding your tribe. The people who are really meant to be there for you is to be your genuine self. But it doesn't feel as easy as it does when you're a child. Like it's not even a second thought. And I think that as we mature and all the hormones come into it, it starts feeling super intimidating, to make it the least. Especially like when you think about when you go to a job for the first time. It doesn't have to be the first time you work that certain type of job. You might be an expert in it. You could be the best bartender that there is, but starting at a new place, you're gonna have a little bit of anxiety about it. You're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I hope the boss is cool. Oh my goodness, I hope that, everybody is busting their tables when they're supposed to and taking their dishes to the back. I hope their bar backs are on point. Like, it's always gonna be something that you have a second thought about. Whereas as a child, everything is kind of managed for you. So you don't really have to have those feelings. You know what I mean? So I guess really what it all boils down to is we need to let go of the fear and the anxiety behind talking to people. I think that the loss of having a great conversation and a connection with someone that you probably didn't know maybe the hour before, and you're having great eye contact, like, I think that's so lost. I think it takes time to want to look at someone in their eyes and just hold a great conversation, and it shouldn't be, to be completely honest. It's something that's completely innate to us, and we are forcing it out of our comfort zones. The second thing that I wanted to support, basically the topic and title of this video, is it's never really mainstream to be yourself. Just gonna be honest with you, unless you're a child, it's really not mainstream to be yourself. And you can see that manifest itself within so many things, so many different trends on TikTok. You can see it in hobbies that people take up, or just honestly, trends among many different platforms, even in politics. Like, for example, right? When it comes to fashion, getting ready, doing your makeup, you probably go on TikTok and you're looking for stuff. You're looking for inspiration. This inspiration starts becoming a crutch, right? Like, I used to get dressed in the morning and I used to look up like outfits and throw Tumblr at the end. And I barely owned any of those outfit pieces, like anything that would commit to making the actual outfit. But the habit really forced itself upon me. I did it all the time because I was just like, you know what, this is gonna give me the inspo. Even though I literally could not even like be like, oh yeah, here's a jean jacket, here's a plain white cotton t-shirt, here's some jeans and Converse to make this fit, which is crazy because that's the most basic fit of all time. I literally would just do it because I just already had been doing it. Like, it wasn't even because, oh, I just needed this, I needed it. I was just like, oh, let me see what the trends are right now, and then I'll keep going with it. It almost became like the news for me. Like, let me see what other people are wearing so that I can start looking for stuff like that. And then once I got into high school, I just had such a plethora of different styles. I had started thrifting a lot, and it made me really get in touch with like my own stylistic side and this pursuit of wanting to be super creative and expressive through my clothing. And I think that absolutely like changed the trajectory of how I dressed entirely. Having the space and just like the trust in myself to nail these outfits down without looking at anything, without the need for inspiration, just pulling stuff based on how I felt and how I wanted to dress that day, One day I could be boho chic, the next I could be like 90s, the next then I could be something else like preppy, sporty, athletic, etc. And I think that literally having that avenue to explore and to do something, I think everyone needs something like that. If fashion is not for you, find something. Find something where you can try so many different mediums. If it is art, let it be art. If it's speaking, let it be speaking. Try different things that really solidify what it is that you like. Because I think too is like, we might see something and it looks nice, but then when you experience it, you don't care for it. But now you already told people that that's your thing. So now you want to live up to that. And that's actually in this book that I read, is like, if you tell people that, oh, I'm a person that's always late, you're going to try to always be the person that's late. If you're running on time, you'd be like, oh, wait, everyone knows me as a person who's late. I'm going to chill a little bit. It's true. I do the same thing. But I do it the opposite. I'm like, oh, I'm cordial. I'm always on time. Then I try my damnedest to be on time. Then it starts to fail. Being mainstream is never, or being yourself is never mainstream. But I think that when you are independent, it gets you mainstream. And that's the funny thing about it, is that you'll see a whole bunch of artists, even when you look at, like, for example, political commentators, right? The biggest and best political takes are probably the most controversial ones. Same thing for art. Most controversial takes, most controversial arts. That's the thing that people want to see, because it's pushing that conversation, and that's what people want. Like, it could be something that you could be totally against, but the fact that you're talking about it is literally what it was there for. And you really don't know where the person who's created it stands at the end of the day. Same with politics, honestly, because some people throw me for a loop. Supporters versus watchers, the only way is through. Now, when it comes to support, right? One of the biggest things that was kind of hard for me, especially to like make this video, feel confident, then edit and push upload, is I had to get over this hump of like, oh my gosh, if I promote my videos, if I post this, if I act this type of way, people are going to be looking at me. People are going to be judging me. And I was like, damn, do I really want to invite that? Because like, you know, I'm a person who gained my peace. I escaped from a whole bunch of toxicity, and I just built my life into what I wanted. Okay. I was like, I'm going to be happy where I'm at. I need to be happy for once, for a change. And once I did that, I was just like, this is really peaceful. No one's in my business. But at the same time, I always had this like want for, I don't know, kind of, I guess, like a way to give advice, to give experience, anecdotal evidence, just information as a whole to people who it may be hard to get it. Like, there's so many things that are just unknown about this life. And I was just like, you know what? I've learned the wrong way. So let me tell y'all what not to do. And I've just always wanted to do it. So knowing that there's this part of myself that I would want to share with the world, and then also being kind of like, there's people from my elementary, there's people from my middle, there's people from my high school who are going to be looking, we're going to be judging, we're going to have something to say. But it's just like, I'm real with you. The people who have something to say will always have something to say. The people who have nothing to say will never have nothing to say. Reason why is because the people who are supporting you have been supporting you from the jump. This is not gonna be some like random thing unless you take up a hobby that someone else super duper loves and you're just super deep into it. Yes, okay, exception, outlier. But like, realistically speaking, there's so many people who were never gonna support me from the jump. What am I sitting here trying to make you guys happy, to make it feel like, oh, let me consider what the fuck they might say about me? I don't give a fuck what y'all think. What the hell? Again, I'm living this life for me. I gotta be happy at the end of the day. And I think one of the biggest examples that I have of this is, I will never forget, okay? I'll never forget this, because at the time I was I was a freshman in high school, and I used to go to the park every single day. Don't do what I do, just learn what I know. But I would go to the park every single day, and I would literally smoke gas every single day. I would hang out with these same girls every single day, right? One of them I'm gonna call Trisha, and the other one I'm gonna call Letitia. Trisha and Letitia, right? I'm hanging out with these girls, and we're smoking because usually we smoke in a big group. But if I, like, for example, because me, I walk home every single day. My friends don't all live within the same neighborhood, so they take the bus and stuff. So if my friends, like my little group, we cannot all go put in a little 5 for a dub to smoke real quick, I would go with Letitia and Trisha because they were some burnouts and they always had gas. So I was like, just go hang out with them. I put in with them. And I remember Trisha had went home, and it was just me and Letitia, and we were talking, and I was just telling her, like, yeah, one day I'm gonna be famous. And I fucking kid you not, this bitch laughed. Like, she laughed. She didn't laugh, she cackled. And I was like, what the fuck is funny? Like, first of all, that level of haterism was not something I was used to. Shitting on people's dreams, no. Coming for physical appearance, okay, maybe. So, like, to have her, like, fucking laugh in my face, I was like, that's kind of wild. Damn, who hurt you? But at the end of the day, that was projection. That was not what she thought of me. That's what she thought of herself. She can never see herself doing that. She couldn't see it in anybody else that she was around. There's a lot of people like that. So that's why I say, like, at the end of the day, the people who are going to support you are always going to support you. They loved you. They're supporting you. They're not supporting, oh, just your crap. They're supporting you as a person because they love you, fuck with you, and want you to succeed. And if you have people like that in your corner, you keep them. That's what I'll tell you. You keep them. Also, is like, I think because it was like the first time someone really sat and laughed over and like in my face over something that I genuinely wanted to do, and like it was a goal. Like at the time, because I'm saying famous, it's so vague. Like that's really not the idea now. But it was just like, you don't even know where I want to take this. You don't know if I want to be a singer, a blogger, like you don't know what the fucking deal is. And at the end of the day, there's so many other people in this fucking planet that do it. Why would I be the person who can't do it? So yeah, that shit really stuck with me. And it's like when you get compliments all the time and then one person says something negative and that's the thing that you think about, it sticks with you. On the other side, there's also a compliment that I got that also stuck with me in a way positive note, and I was just being my complete self. I'm a very animated person sometimes, and one of my close friends was just like, hey, you should definitely do YouTube. Like, I think you'd be such a fun vlogger. Like, I would watch you, da da da. That was a bitch supporting me. That was not a bitch trying to fucking reflect, trying to see, oh, let me knock you down. No, that was a girl who's like, I like you. I like your personality. And I think the world would enjoy you. You know what I mean? And I think, again, when we interact with people, that's how we should come. Like, even if you can't see it, if someone is putting in that drive and putting in that work, you need to give them their kudos and you need to leave it at that. At the end of the day. Okay, I'm not telling you to tell someone who can't sing to go on American Idol. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I said. I said, don't tear down someone's dream and you see they hustling towards it. That's what I said. Okay, so let's... All right. But the next thing is don't fail to try. Try and fail until you win. And this one is super important because as someone who has lived all over the freaking place and has had to start over and over and over, there's a lot of people to know. There's a lot of lessons to learn. And like I said, I learned all of them the wrong way, okay? I try and try and try so hard, and I try the back alley way and I try the right way, and then I lose, and then I win, and then I gain some and I lose some, and then I get complacent, then I get sad, then I hit rock bottom, then I have no hope. The cycle goes and goes. It's life. It's a roller coaster. But at the end of the day, it's like every time you do something, you learn what not to do. And I think Einstein said it, or the guy who made the lights, one of them. But he was just like, you can try something 100 times and fail 100 times, but you just learned 100 ways not to do it. And honestly, it stuck with me. Again, it stuck with me like glue, like gum, because it's true. It's true. If you sit there and try to do the same thing every time, you're a madman. You're crazy, because you're literally showing yourself, okay, well, this isn't working. Let me try something new. Well, this is not working. Let me tweak it. Let me adjust it. But to sit there and just give up and let life pass you by, life's too short for that. Life is way too short for that. And that's why being cringe is important to me. It is. I think everyone should do one cringe thing a day. I think it keeps you humble, and I think it keeps you happy. Like for me, there's so many situations where you have to be able to express yourself or you'll go crazy. And I think that's the one thing that keeps me sane. Like if I can be my own manipulated form of crazy that's not toxic and actually quite helpful, that's who I would much rather be. Circling back to something I actually touched earlier, it's super important to live the life that you want to live. Like, you spend the most time with yourself. Just being honest, like there's nobody on this earth that's gonna get to know you more than you. In any circumstance. It's true.